Morning from Seattle, Washington. It's about 4:50 a.m. We are still about 24 hours before the race begins. So I'm here to rest stop. I got into Seattle last night about 3 o'clock Eastern time. Trip's been great so far. Flights went fine, a little delay, but no problem. The real adventure begins now. All right, so I am in awe of these mountains. You just, driving through them, you feel like, I mean, they are big mountains. They may not go up above 10,000 feet, but the ascent from the base of them is pretty spectacular. Just take a look at the size of this highway here. Honestly, I'm very intimidated right now. What amazing scenery. A little bit scary thinking I'm going to be running 120 miles in these mountains, but I mean, it's just awesome. Really cool. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait. It's about 8:45. Well, it will be about 8:45, about 8:15 right now. About a half hour out of Manning Park. You can see right there, billboard for it. And not many cars out here at all, but so pretty. That's really pretty. All right, so here at Lightning Lake, this is the end of the race. I'm going to start tomorrow and finish hopefully by Sunday. Let's take a look at it. You better believe I'll be jumping in this lake after my 120 miles. Definitely. Unless it's at night. Even if it's at night, I'll probably still get in. Look how pretty that is. You definitely get the feel that this is a remote race, as they say in the race packet. You really can't hear anything. And this is where people are. Wow, this is beautiful. So, might as well talk about my goals. Basically, my main goal is I want to finish the race. You know, I thought about times and thought about trying to do 36 hours. Of course, I'll try, but my main goal is to finish. And if I need to slow down to do that, I will. I came all the way out here. I'd like to finish. You never know what the race will throw at you, though. So, I mean, I don't know what might happen. I'll be honest, I'm pretty nervous right now. I didn't expect these kinds of mountains. Because, you know, they said they top out at below 10,000 feet. So you think, oh, well, they're not as big as Colorado. Well, you also have to think about where you start. And you start much lower than you do in the Rockies. So the ascent is from the ground up is actually a good deal, and it's probably almost the same as Colorado. So you don't have to worry about altitude as much fitness wise, but the climbing is still going to be very substantial. So I need a good night's sleep tonight. Got about 3 hours last night. So, oh wow. All right. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, so some have questioned whether there are grizzly bears out here. This is just to prove that they're kind of a big deal out here. In fact, it sounds like they're trying to help them grow in numbers. So just in case you missed it on that informational board, there are 25 grizzly bears wandering around this part of the mountains, which are considered the North Cascades, which may not sound like a lot, except I'll be running through 120 miles worth, so 25 grizzly bears doesn't make me feel great. But I mean, they're amazing. I just don't want to really interact with them. Alright, so this is a pretty major scenic view here. I'm going to turn it around. So you can see the lodge down there. That's the Manning Park Lodge, and then you got Lightning Lake up there. So that's Mount Frosty right there. But it's just overwhelming to think that that's the kind of distance we're covering. So when you see the snow up there and you see the let's just say I'm not sure I'll be sleeping very well tonight. But it is amazing and beautiful, so that's what we came for. Alright, we're here for the orientation. Alright, so at the risk of driving off the road here, I'm just going to keep this pretty brief. So you saw part of the orientation and the race brief. It was fun. There's so many people there. It was crazy. There were probably, because there were relays with multiple people in them, there were probably 200 people in the room, and everyone's excited about doing the race together, so it's pretty sweet. And it's a lot of fun, so it's going to be good. Just a little, just to show you a little bit of what I'm up to this morning. Morning of the race. Super early, so I don't want to wake anyone up. But I'm feeling pretty good. I do. Enjoy it, yeah. This is the bus ride over to Bonnevier. I think that's how you pronounce it. You know how to pronounce it, Kyle? Yeah. So I think it's about a 20-minute drive, and then we start the race. So it's one year of training coming to fruition, hopefully. To a culmination, I guess is the right word. So, all right. We'll update you later. So we're at the start right now, and I found myself a lawyer who is also from Cincinnati. What are the chances out here in the middle of nowhere, Canada? Nick, say hi.
How's it going? We're ready to go.
Ready to go. It's just crazy. They're counting off every bib, which is pretty cool. I don't think I've ever had that happen in a race before.
Yeah.
too. I did too. I just didn't have any room for it.
I don't really either.
Yeah, thank you.
It was a pleasure.
So we just got through Heather aid station, just about something like 6.5 miles. And as a reward for that pretty long climb we just did, we get this. How about that? So, all right, feeling pretty good. We're at done about 3,200 feet of climbing, so 32 down, 24,000 to go. All right, so a little update. I'm about 19.5 miles in, and let me tell you about vertical. This race is insane. It's awesome, but man, we are going up some very intense, rocky climbs and descents. You know, when I saw that that you have quite a bit of descent, I thought, oh, well, that's good, right? Well, 27,000 or 28,000 feet of descent, it is killing my body right now. But I think the main reason is I miscalculated, and well, I didn't focus enough on how much water I put in my pack. So the last stretch I went like 2-3 miles without any water, and that was not fun. But I went ahead and rehydrated at this cool lake called Nicolum Lake, and I'm feeling much better. Still not great. I mean, I'm only 19 miles in. That's really a little bit frustrating, but I'm just thinking I'm just going to take it one aid station at a time, do my best, and go from there. So anyway, that's my little update. The scenery is absolutely spectacular. I mean, even here in the woods. So far, the only wildlife that I've found is, or seen, is that we had to go around a wasp nest that was stirred up by somebody. That's the only thing so far, knock on wood. But that's kind of my little update here. About 11 miles to the 50K mark, which is where the next aid station is. And then I just have to do 3 more 50Ks. So that was really close. I wanted to show you these. That's for the way back. I'm feeling a lot better now. Getting some actual running in. Three more 50Ks to go, and at about mile 20, so 50K is 31 miles. At mile 20, I had some kind of kick. I think the ibuprofen worked miracles. I went from feeling like, I mean, honestly, feeling like I didn't know if I could finish. It was really, it was a struggle, and I'm sure that'll come back. But then I kicked it for 10 miles and ran. I think I probably passed like 20 people, 25 people. So all kinds of energy just suddenly came in. And I did, you know, drink lots of water. I got lots of electrolytes, got some tailwind in my pack. But yeah, this thing turned around for me. It's a bit early to say anything. I've got 90 miles left. So the Cascade aid station was absolutely epic. It was probably, yes, I said epic. Despite my advanced age, it was epic. That's for my son and my daughter. So it was great. I'm now about, I think it's about 34, 35 miles in. I got 15 miles to the next aid station, White Cloud. And then it gets kind of a little interesting because there's an out and back. And I think it's gonna be dark by the time I get there. So I'm gonna need to ask questions. Anyway, so I'm sure I'm kind of a mess tonight, but I've been pushing. I've got 34, like I said, miles in, so 86 miles left. Let's go get it. So this is my first off trail. I think I'm maybe a mile or so out of the way, like basically lost, but I'm heading back to the last point. So it's just basically an exercise in futility. All right, so that was one of the most epic climbs I've ever done. It was harder than Run Rabbit Run, I mean, no doubt. We just walked straight up a mountain for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. I mean, and we're not talking about just a minor incline. This was like straight up, no switchbacks. So, might have been the hardest thing I've ever done. Now we finally have downhill. It is so awesome. All right, we're coming up on the White Cloud out and back and Tulameen Camp. And I think that puts us about 45 miles into the race. Hard to imagine how much time we have left. All right, back to it. Okay, so it's been a while since I did an update. I think since I did the update, I have fallen off of a trail, downhill, head first. Thankfully, it was just a bunch of brush, and I was okay. I've gone through a pretty big low about 15, 20, about an hour ago, where for about between a half hour and an hour, I was like pretty sure I was not going to be able to finish on time, and I wanted to give up. I guess that's still possible, but I'm now out of that low and feeling decent. I'm going to get a lot of good things at the next aid station because I have a drop bag there. Be able to throw away a bunch of stuff too, lighten my load a little bit. Things are looking up right now. But yeah, that fall was insane. It was dark still. It's now light, as you can see. It's about 7:30, I think. But it was probably about 5, and I was really tired, and I was alone in the woods, and I got distracted for just a second, and I don't remember. I think I mostly just tripped, but it was going downhill, and I could not recover, and my body literally just like fell down about a 45-degree hill and I just couldn't do anything about it. I went head first, face first into the brush, and thankfully there was nothing under the brush like a stump or something that could have really hurt me. So that was pretty much, definitely was the craziest fall I've ever had, especially since it was dark. But I just kind of got up, dusted myself off, and went on. I didn't get hurt, thank goodness. So, because the closer I get, the less likely I am to want to quit. Because I don't want to quit. There's some gigantic climbs later in the race, so it may be that I don't finish on time, but I want to finish, even if it's not on time. So we'll see, but that means I'm definitely doing another night out here in the wilderness, which I'm not looking forward to, but I'm going to do a few things to stay warmer. I did regret giving up my fleece earlier yesterday evening. I should have kept that fleece, but I was able to put my pants on. Oh, and I took a half-hour nap, so I just laid a blanket down, pulled out my emergency Mylar blanket and put it over me, which I've never used one, but they're extremely warm. So anyway, so that's the latest update. Kind of a lot going on, but we'll keep moving on. So as quickly as things were going well, long and short of it is I decided not to finish. It's really frustrating. You know, I come all the way out here to do this and train for it. It was just brutal. So, I mean, bottom line is I quit. And I don't like that at all. It bothers me. There are some excuses why, but I quit. One of the things I was concerned with, well, I was really hurting. My quads are basically blown from all the downhill running yesterday. So, which I was excited about yesterday, but today I'm really paying for it. Well, for one, I think it's unlikely, very unlikely, that I would be able to finish under the cutoff time. So if I decided to continue, I would have to push it really hard. I'm not sure I could do it. And if I did do it, I might get hurt. So, I mean, those are all just excuses, and excuses are excuses. They're not, they're just excuses. Bottom line is I quit. So that's my story. It's unfortunate. But, oh, the other thing is if I left that aid station and the 6 people that were with me there, they all quit. They all chose to not finish. And I decided, of course, because I'm always pushing it, I decided to go ahead and try. So I left the aid station, and as soon as I did, as soon as I left, there was a big climb, and it demoralized me. But then I realized it really isn't that big, not nearly the size of the 2 biggest climbs later on at the end of the race. After getting 3 miles out of the aid station and, you know, my whole body aches, I decided that today wasn't the day. And I'm willing to live with that. It's my first time I've ever quit a race, which is really frustrating, but it was a good experience, but 27,000 feet is no joke. Anyway, that's the story. I'm gonna try to head home sooner than I was, and we'll go from there. Thanks everybody for wishing me well and being concerned and encouraging me. And I'm sorry that it didn't turn out any better. Life goes on. I guess I should mention my total mileage, including walking back to the aid station, is going to be about 73 miles. So still, that's a lot of mileage. Not 122, which is the full length, but still the farthest I've ever run in one setting. So I guess I can take that for what it is. All right. Again, life goes on.